Being a Christian in an academic context is an interesting challenge, especially if it's a sociology department. I had been in that sociology department for about a year when this change took place, and I'm pretty sure that they would have noticed early that there was something different about me. Because patterns of language changed, and so there was no profanity anymore, and probably I was a lot more cheerful as well, and so there would have been questions that were being asked. I remember one time going into the common room in the sociology department and coming into a conversation that a couple of the grad students were having, because the grad students were aware that some changes had taken place with me, and were also aware of the fact that we were attending City New Life. So being a Christian challenging, being a Christian in a sociology department challenging, being an Anglican possibly acceptable, being a Quaker certainly acceptable, but being a Pentecostal was out with the realms of possibility. And so these students were trying to make sense of why one of their lecturers was attending a Pentecostal church in town. And the conclusion that they were reaching as I came into the common room was that I was doing a sociological study of Pentecostalism, that I had gone undercover to study New Life Centre. Well, I explained that I was a New Life Centre for personal reasons and not for professional reasons. And from that point on, I always, and did this quite consistently, I always made a point in every class that I had, whether it was a big stage 1 class or smaller classes, always made a point of making sure that the students in that class knew that I was a Christian. And that wasn't the explicit upfront comment setting the scene at the start of a semester or whatever. That was in the use of examples and the use of personal stories. Always felt free to weave those into a lecture, so that they were aware of the fact. And I suppose word got around. I'm persuaded that as a community of faith, we're called to be a contrast people, which means that there should be something distinctive about us. There should be something different about us. Part of that has to do with lifestyle. Part of that has to do with morality. A lot of that has to do with ethics. And so there have to be dimensions to how we operate as a student that do characterize us as being different. And so in issues of taking shortcuts with assignments, there has to be integrity. In terms of sharing with fellow students, whether they're Christians or non-Christians, there has to be integrity. And I think in all things that mark of integrity should be what sets us apart. I think irrespective of whether it's economics or sociology or physics or psychology or chemistry or whatever, the thing which most dyed-in-the-wool church people would struggle with is the element of the critical element that students can bring and should bring to their everyday lives, because church doesn't encourage us to be critical, and if anything, my struggles with church people and not wanting to be like church people, as much as anything, it had to do with the fact that I perceived, even at that early stage, that they wanted to crush whatever critical abilities I had. And curiosity, being skeptical, being critical, all of those things, to my mind, were part and parcel of being a sociologist, but also should be part and parcel of developing a mature Christian faith.